Hello and welcome to the businesslab.tv. We're here in the Business Ladder secret bunker, and let's see what's under the microscope today. We've got 5 winning customer service tips. Be accessible and reliable. We all know customers are important and valuable, of course. Each phone call can mean a new deal coming in, an existing customer needing to be kept happy to avoid losing their existing or their potential repeat business. So the first step is that you and your company need to field inquiries promptly and well, and be accessible. You need to be there to do new business, to smooth the progress of existing business. You need to be easily contactable by, as we say, both new and existing customers. It's a really embarrassing contradiction when your marketing and your networking claims that you believe in all this great service, this great treatment, all that stuff, yet the contact procedure when getting in touch with your company actually then breaks down or is advanced in a really poor manner. I've seen firsthand in my mystery shopping activities how being inaccessible, contact failures, and just general sloppiness can give a really terrible impression of an otherwise good business. So don't make that mistake. Nowadays, with so many options out there like call forwarding, virtual receptionists, or even old-fashioned humans, the central point is always to remember how important it is for someone capable to be there, to pick up the phone whenever someone, a potential client, calls your business. At the very least, have a clear and friendly answer phone message that should be promising that you'll call them back shortly to discuss their inquiry or whatever they're ringing you about. Which brings us to keep your promises to customers. Letting down potential or current customers is a huge faux pas. It's an irksome treatment that loses goodwill and all too often reputation for your company. Reliability is such a key to good customer service over the long term. Fulfilling what you said you'll do, whether calling a customer back or other things like sending information or organizing a face-to-face meeting or a delivery or anything like that. If you promised it, it should require an earth-shatteringly serious reason to even make you think about going back on it. So don't make the offer or promise if you can't or won't go through with it. Very simply, customers have a legitimate case to feel aggrieved if that happens. And they're not only likely to take their business elsewhere right away or later, but they, more importantly, may trumpet their disappointment to other people, to the friends, the contacts, people they just happen to bump into, and even online as an area that has developed most recently. So instead of a satisfied person talking about you positively and recommending you, you risk having an angry person doing precisely the opposite, which is certainly something you don't want. So avoid giving them reasons to do so. Deal with any complaints promptly. It's an old saying that if you don't get any complaints, you're clearly not doing enough business. But when you get complaints, you mustn't take that as a compliment, of course. You have to deal with them in a particular way. It's normal to hate hearing complaints, of course, and it's human as a result to do things like ignore them, minimize them, excuse them, or hide them away somewhere. But just because I understand the instinct, of course, doesn't mean it's right. You need to give the complaint proper attention, understanding the problem, and if it's a legitimate one, finding an explanation for what exactly went wrong and how that can be prevented in future. This isn't just a matter of altruism, it's also potentially useful for you. Research has shown that a well-handled complaint actually gives the customer more confidence in your company. Note the words, though, well-handled. That's the key here, as the positive and effective treatment often makes the customer feel that you've overcome an obstacle for them and truly value them as a result. It's a bit like protagonists in a cliched buddy cop film who hate each other at the beginning, but grow closer after risking their lives together. You know, that I'm too old for this. So solid complaint handling benefits everyone, both in present and future relations, and should be approached in that manner. always pay attention to your customers. Everyone hates not being listened to. I do too. Especially when a busy customer expects to be treated well before or while they're making a buying decision to use your company. As I mentioned earlier, lots of businesses claim to give great service, good service, personal service, tailored service, outstanding service, etc. So failing to back up all this ambitious sales language is particularly jarring for a customer to encounter. It's a matter of disappointed expectations, which can make them feel even more indignant or frustrated. I was going to spend my money with your company, but actually you can't even take down my name properly. That doesn't give me much confidence in using you. Ouch. So let customers talk and explain their needs or problems. Show that you and your staff value them by listening actively, taking down useful information for future reference, making relevant suggestions rather than sales pitches or my bugbear, irritating management speak and jargon, and so on. That's how to put yourself in a solid position to satisfy them and keep them satisfied over the long term of doing business with you. Think long term. Even though business can sometimes tempt you to think short term, with targets and results at the forefront of your mind, as well as the all too human weakness of trying to minimize the work you have to put in today without thinking about tomorrow, it is important for good customer service to take that long-term view. Service and reputation, they're a cumulative gain. They have to be built up over time and with consistency. They can require investing time and effort in order to hopefully achieve something later on down the line. For example, in terms of good repeat business, customers coming back to you after trying another supplier whose service was inferior, or even positive reviews, stories, and recommendations being spread by them as informal ambassadors due to their genuine satisfaction with having used you. When doing some mystery shopping myself, which is one of the services we offer, I had a fantastic experience in a London department store to tell you about. I had an exchange with an assistant in one department who was obviously dissatisfied with how he had answered my query. So, funnily enough, within 5 minutes, he tracked me down in an adjacent department, politely approached me and shared that full answer that he had actually gone away and obtained from another colleague and checked with them in the interval. So that was going an extra mile to provide that memorable, good customer service that I remember and I appreciated. And of course, I gave him high marks in the shopping report. As a result, I recommend that establishment wherever possible, without giving away that I mystery shopped them, of course. So the best advice is to train yourself, mentally to enjoy giving that extra bit of effort in providing outstanding customer service to your customers. If you enjoy doing it and understand the sometimes slow developing rewards, you'll be fantastically placed to benefit in the long term.